Texas lawmakers have just over a week to approve funding for programs like early child education. Here with more on that is Lana Rocha with the Texas Tribune. Good morning.
Good morning.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Let's talk about pre-K funding. Governor Abbott on the campaign trail was always campaigning about that. What's the status of it?
Yeah, it was an emergency item he listed. It looks good. Has passed both chambers. When it got over to the Senate, they did tack on some amendments so that House either needs to concur on, or then a conference committee, members of both chambers will be appointed to kind of reconcile the differences. But not a lot of time, but there is still time at least to hash out those differences and make it to the governor's desk.
And a lot of other education bills are running out of time as well. Any other key ones to point out?
Yeah, school accountability did pass the House. That would change the way schools are rated from an A to an F system. Now it needs to be heard in the Senate. There is still time for that one, but a slew of measures, including famous school vouchers, teacher evaluations, are up against a Saturday deadline to be heard.
And then there's the other thing that came out of the legislature, which would be a compromise, right, for the Health and Human Services funding. This would impact doctors and Medicaid. Specifically, what is this?
Yeah, well, we saw, the conference committee, again, 5 members from each chamber hashing out the differences between their 2 budgets. They seem to go with the Senate's plan as far as not boosting reimbursement payments for physicians, primary care docs who see Medicaid patients. They were trying to bring it up, the House was, to Medicare levels, but the Senate, I guess, didn't have an appetite for that, and that they won out in that budget. But a lot more solutions coming out of the budget as far as the conference committee, including border security. We saw $800 million that the state is going to spend over the next 2 years, mainly to boost your DPS troopers ranks as far as the number of troopers being trained and hired, both on the border and across the state. And then back to public ed, $1.5 billion on top of enrollment growth for the next 2 years, again more in line with what the Senate had proposed.
So a lot going on right now with not a lot of time.
No, we're in single-digit days almost.
So is this the time where you really start to see lawmakers, getting out there and really putting out all the stops to try to get their bill passed?
Their bill, or the Democrats trying to stop the bills that remain, because again, they are in the minority, and we've seen this session that obviously the Republicans have had the votes to pass their measures, and the Democrats have tried every procedural way and argument and chubbing and just talking bills to death to stop those measures.
All right, and thank you so much for joining us this morning. We'll see you back here to figure out what's going on next week.
Yeah, in the last 4 days.
Last 4 days. All right, Alana, thank you.
Thank you.